4. The very first episode 4.
Quattro.
I don't know. You can't put me on a spot like that.
Yeah.
Brian Pillman.
Does it though? We can't talk about Perry Saturn and his roid rage.
Or his mop.
Chris Benoit, his roid rage.
I was gonna say, actually, hold on.
That was a totally coincidental son of a bitch.
I'm Ferdy. You're AJ. I'm Ferdy.
I mean, you could be AJ if you want.
I don't know. One of these. Maybe we'll have a like a set who goes second. You know.
Yeah.
Rock paper scissors for that because I beat Strunk on that earlier. So.
Strunk, so you'll never beat me in rock paper scissors.
I win by default.
Anyway,
new rules.
I actually saw a meme today, and it was like, "I'm so bored. I'm playing a drinking game, and it shows like the dude playing rock paper scissors with a pair of scissors, and he just keeps doing this in the middle and starts drinking every time he loses."
Jesus.
But anyway, so we got a lot to cover.
What's up?
Well, I mean, in fairness,
well,
we covered all the trash WrestleMania matches.
So. I would say let's start with the worst and end on the best, which we can all agree on. What? Right, SmackDown.
Yeah.
Right. Change the title. But
what's the title say?
SmackDown just went off live, and honestly, the only two things that happened were the call up and then obviously the setup for the championship match at the very end. So
I actually didn't catch the end because I was out walking.
It was Firefly Funhouse, yeah, and it was pretty awesome.
Good.
He was calling out Braun.
Good for him, you know.
Right. So
he comes over, throws him over his knee, just starts spanking his ass.
I mean, I guess if you want to go through the results real quick, Nikki Cross and Alexa retained.
They've turned into a comedy act,
which is fine. I mean, I think they're great. I think the only thing I think that's awesome about them is that it looks like they're gonna defend the belts a little more. They had that little cameo in the back with Carmella and Dana at the end, so that was cool.
But like, you don't know when that match is going to happen because Dana Brooke's in a qualifier next week, so they didn't really specify.
Yeah, let's be honest.
But I'm saying they're not going to have her pull double duty either. She's not Becky Lynch or Charlotte or Sasha.
Right. Correct. Yep.
Yeah, and now Money in the Bank's gonna make the performance center probably, or an undisclosed location.
Right. Undisclosed. Yeah. Then they had Dolph Ziggler versus Tucker. Dolph won. Tucker had some intensity tonight. One thing I will say about that match, I thought it was I think you're right, man. I think he's such a baby face. Like, I want to like that guy, but it is what it is.
Well, they're saying that Sony is going to have a chance to talk about it next week.
Right.
I think what's going to turn out to be is Tucker is going to get sick of getting his ass beat for Otis, and then it's going to turn into a feud like you guys talked about. But
farther down the road.
But if they break up, like, Otis is going to be the only one that prospers from
that. Oh, right. With.
I figured we'd cover that. I thought we were going to cover good news at the end.
Oh, fair.
And then so Yep. So that happened, and then they did the call-ups for the Forgotten Sons.
The Forgotten Sons, which I mean, they had to add some new jobbers since they released the revival. It wasn't, yeah. It was a good match, I guess.
Yeah.
Fair. Right.
Well, because they just show the people at home that AEW is not the only one with Hispanic tag team, luchador tag teams.
True.
Andrade Flair.
It's super, yeah, and it's sad because they're actually they're all pretty awesome.
Yeah,
why they have to all wrestle each other all the time or be in the same group all the time is it's Vince.
Yeah, and then there was that rumor back before last WrestleMania or the Royal Rumble where it's like Rey Mysterio is going to leave Lucha House Party, and you're like, why? Because he's Mexican.
Yeah, that was a rumor.
There's a huge rumor that Rey Mysterio is going to be like him and
when
Dominic
he was coming back.
We're gonna be part of Lucha House Party. Like he was gonna be like the Titan.
It was a good match.
Well, it was before that. It was right when he first came back. It was when he came back for last Rumble when I was actually the first Rumble we watched. Yeah. So they're great. Yeah, they're great performers. They're just not taken seriously, like the Revival. Because tag team wrestling isn't important.
We had another squash match.
It
was Sheamus versus Cal Bloom.
I thought it was Blue because he had blue pants on.
Bloom is
Blue
Tista. That obviously went as predicted, expected. So
I love the sound of silence. Crack. I was like, what the fuck, Sheamus? I think
what go ahead. What the fuck are they doing? Who wants to see Tamina wrestle?
So what's gonna happen is Sasha's gonna beat her somehow, and then Sasha be like, "Well, I won. What do I get out of it?"
No. Yep. And I think that Bayley makes her or forces her to lose in an unexpected way. I could see as well,
like a DQ.
So, yeah, or something.
All I'm saying is Sasha looked real good tonight. Holla back. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and then Sonya did it at WrestleMania, and I was like, she's so fun. And then, so I was eating a bowl of cereal in my kitchen.
As I was making my cereal.
So I was eating a bowl of cereal in the kitchen, and then I turned and Sasha's coming out. I'm like, oh, and I spit the fucking milk back in the bowl. I was like, well, good.
Hey, I want us to round though.
like when your controller dies and the aim automatically goes up.
Yeah. It was basically like that. I was yep. But anyways, before it gets too far there, what? I personally want. I mean, obviously we can all say that Sasha's going to be that SummerSlam opponent, but I want Bayley to win the feud. I want Bayley to squash No, as a heel. Make her a dominant heel. That will make her a better face when she does turn face.
See, but they don't. But neither of them have to be faces to do this. It's like when Triple H and Jericho fought for the undisputed title.
That's fair, I guess, too.
Yeah, I mean because the crowd's gonna pick one, even though with Triple H and Jericho, they picked Jericho up until the match, and they picked Triple H.
It was like Rock and Hogan, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Or Cena or Rock Goldberg.
I'm not saying that match is gonna be on the same level, but
yeah, it says Bayley is my role model.
Right. Dude, AJ's bought WrestleMania tickets like 3 years in a row for somebody. Like
Andrew still owes me $70. That's come back.
Well, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were
over. Say that again.
Each
man, the only problem is like you're
that's
starting
$200.
Like, I've already lost 10 pounds. Like I'm already at a handicap here. Like I know how much. Okay, that's fine. Are we getting Dolan in here on this? Because like I think it would be great for him. Pineapple, yeah.
I mean,
5 shirts though. 5's a lot. That's fucking.
I was gonna say first and second.
$200.
I was gonna say the two losers can pitch in and buy a belt for the podcast. But...
Can you?
I can hear you in the stream. No, I'm in the
talk strong. Well, that's awkward. Yeah, you're not talking. I can hear me in my awkward ass voice.
Really screwed the pooch on this one, huh?
Hey, I fixed it. That sucks. So everything I said, there's gonna be a bunch of dead awkward silence at the beginning of this podcast.
All right. All right, that's fine. But
anyhow, let's revisit that. SmackDown was okay. The only thing that happened was Braun Strowman.
The last thing we'll just finally cover is Braun Strowman versus Nakamura. Was the main event. So I mean, it was nothing special.
No Sami Zayn though. At any point tonight.
Well, I think they're trying to distance Sami from the other two now.
Really? I don't know. I think it's just the taping, probably. Maybe. We'll see.
I mean, Shinsuke's not going to be in the title picture anymore.
Well, and Cesaro has a match with Daniel Bryan to qualify for Money in the Bank. I don't think they're going to put Daniel Bryan in the Money in the Bank. He wants to work a lighter schedule, and there's just risk of injury there. And Cesaro's fine.
They're saying that this is his last contract anyway. So
right. So, I mean, I don't know.
We'll see. Yeah, it's gonna be like a 5-year contract. I'm sure, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, he's on his last. He already re-signed last year.
Yeah, for 3 years.
I thought he was coming.
They said he was no longer going to be a full-time wrestler after that.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But he also said that he didn't think his last match would be in WWE either. Yeah. So Money in the Bank qualifier next week. Sami probably costs Daniel the qualifier.
That's fine.
And then we get another fucking Sami Daniel Bryan Intercontinental Championship match.
That's fine.
Money in the Bank.
Give him something to do. Let's get through this this weird time. And I mean, they're not going to do anything interesting, I would say, or interesting matchups. Oh, one thing that they did show during one of the commercials, the Jeff Hardy special, I guess.
I think it's the Hardy Boys special.
It's just Jeff.
There's a lot of
special
preview.
It's a special. Well, you literally can't do anything without that. But it's a special in-depth look at Jeff Hardy. Is it a 24 or?
No, they say it's going to be shown over the next few weeks. There's going to be a Rise. So that one's called the Rise, And then there's obviously gonna be one called The Fall because he's a drug addict and alcoholic.
Do they have TNA footage?
They did buy the library, didn't they?
I don't think they bought the library,
they've been renting it.
Yeah,
or
they've definitely been
leasing
purchasing rights to stuff.
Yeah,
which is fine.
I'm sure that because I think they have the Joe, AJ, and Jeff footage and Sting. And then there's obviously the fall one. There's probably gonna be a redemption part.
Apparently, he was supposed to play a major role at Mania.
He was originally supposed to face Goldberg,
but Goldberg didn't want that match.
Goldberg's an asshole, man. I'm sorry. Yeah. After reading what, it makes me even more mad that he took the belt off Bray.
Yeah.
And now, look what they're doing. They're trying to fix it. Yeah. Literally, if Braun beats Bray, Bray's done. Like that character is has no interest.
Okay, let me ask you this though: what if Braun beats Bray and not the Fiend? Are we okay with that?
I don't know anymore. I really don't know because they've muddied the difference now.
Right.
Like with Firefly Funhouse, that was mostly Bray, right?
90%.
But then the Fiend beats John Cena.
Right.
But at the same time, they've just muddied the whole thing where Bray Wyatt can be whatever version of Bray Wyatt he wants at any given point because he went back to being old Bray Wyatt too.
The answer to that question is no. Because it's a loss is a loss. I think a loss is a loss. I don't care who loses.
It's like when Kane was Corporate Kane and Demon Kane.
True.
Yeah, I hated that.
So now we're in that territory with Bray Wyatt.
So do they just hotshot the title back to Bray then at some point? I mean, I don't.
And then Roman beats him eventually.
So I think Jeff is going to win Money in the Bank. But they wouldn't be doing this docu-series without a end game in mind for Jeff Hardy. And as much as I think AJ Styles will win, Jeff Hardy's never won Money in the Bank, and they've been talking about projecting him into the main card for a while.
So let me ask you this. Do we not get a legit title match at Money in the Bank, and then at SummerSlam, we get a cash-in with Braun getting pinned and Bray still not winning the title? So Bray's not taking a loss. The title's off Braun. And
that honestly, I think that's it right there. Yeah. That's it.
But if Jeff did win the title, they could use Willow, Jeff's alter ego from TNA, which is actually a really cool idea. It's very Bray Wyatt-esque. And they could have
Jeff versus Bray match.
They could have a Willow versus Fiend match.
You can have that in a Firehouse
Firefly
Funhouse.
I don't think they do it like that, but I think it'd be a really dark match.
But Jeff Hardy is one of the few people left on the roster. They could do another version of that Firefly Funhouse that they did at Mania. Correct. There's very few people they can do that with, but Hardy is definitely one of them.
Correct.
Yep. And let's be honest, he doesn't have any and even if he doesn't feud with Bray, he can feud with Edge. Like Edge is technically a free agent. He might have shown up on Raw.
Yeah, he's on Backstage on Tuesday. And I think we'll get an idea of where he's going to go next. No Orton this week at all on any programming.
So he's probably sore.
Well, yeah. We don't know what direction he goes from here.
Did you guys hear Ric Flair say that he's the best wrestler right now?
I can agree. When he's
when Orton's on, he's on.
Right. When he wants to invest himself into something, I can agree that he's the best right now in the business. I mean, he's fantastic on the mic when he cares. Yeah, he's fantastic when he cares. And his matches are above Triple H as far as entertainment. But he doesn't...
Triple H now or Triple H in his prime?
No, Triple H in his prime. I mean, Triple H in his prime is still boring Triple H. I mean, his matches...
it's right up there. It's right up there with John Cena matches, I'll be honest with you.
The character... Well, I don't know.
John Cena. Late John Cena matches, post-KO... AJ? Yeah, post Kevin Owens John Cena matches were fantastic.
SummerSlam was 2016. AJ and John Cena were honestly one of my favorite matches.
I think Cena had the match of the year in 15 and 16. KO and then AJ.
Yeah, right. I could agree with that.
But I'm saying him and Triple H, a lot of them, Orton too, they're on the level where they can just mail it in whenever they fucking feel it.
Exactly.
No, I agree, but yeah, fair.
But the point is that when Orton cares, when he can sink his teeth into something. Yeah. You can see him as the best. Now, I don't know if you want to call someone the best that isn't there 100% of the time, giving 100% of the time.
At least John Cena was there 100% of the time when he was on top.
Man, the man came back from an injury at that Royal Rumble when he should have been out another 5 months. I mean, he definitely gave it 100%.
Yeah, but that wouldn't fly today, though. They would have kept him off TV for another 5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, possibly.
So, I mean, you got to think about the time too.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm cleaning my glasses.
Well, it wasn't a concussion either. It was a muscle injury. I mean, that might not be true.
It was an ACL, wasn't it? Yeah, it was ACL.
I thought he tore his tricep, but I don't remember. Either way, it wasn't a head injury. It wasn't a concussion injury. Yeah, it was 2008. It wasn't a head injury. I would agree with you that nowadays a head injury. But we just had someone else come back from a muscle injury way faster than they should have.
Steroids will do that to you, bro.
Oh, it was a neck injury.
Okay, well that makes it even a little more different than the head thing.
Go ahead and talk. He torn a muscle, and a bone chipped off his neck and cut the muscle.
Wow. Okay, well,
so
Super Cena did it, and he came back, and
he did the Muscle Man dance, and he showed up. Yeah.
So that was SmackDown. Bray's playing the "I'm not scared at all" card, which I don't know if I'm a fan of.
Goldberg just did it, and what was that result?
Right. Bray's like, Bray did like a rest in peace, but let me in, or I'll let you in, or whatever he said. Or Braun did. Braun said, "I'll let you in. Whenever you want, come find me." And I just don't think they're that hot on Braun, and I think Bray takes that title back. But if he doesn't take the title back, I think it's a Money in the Bank scenario where he doesn't take it back.
But they obviously don't take Bray serious enough to send to fucking Goldberg and be like,
no, they do. But that was Goldberg politicking, and you got to remember that Goldberg. Yep. He made $3 million last year. I mean, he's still an attraction. I don't think that's how they wanted it to go down. I think they wanted to have Bray beat him. I think Goldberg politicked against it, and ultimately
they did. That was the big rumor is that it was a last minute decision. And Goldberg pulled his creative control he has essentially. I guess apparently he does, and he took the belt off him.
So I mean, if they really did want to have put Bray over Goldberg, they have faith in Bray. Now, I think the ultimate result would have been Roman beating Bray at Mania, but either way, I think they can hotshot that title back to Bray.
Just leave it off him. Leave it off
real
him.
Quick,
for the love of God.
They announced there's gonna be another triple threat match for the tag titles. I think Miz loses.
Yeah, I do too. That sets up the Morrison Miz feud that we kind of already had planned post Mania. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I mean,
do the Usos get it or the New Day?
I think Big E gets his moment.
I'm down.
He deserves it.
Here's what you got to consider though, because they're doing a women's Money in the Bank, not a tag. So okay.
What the fuck? Oh,
I think the Usos take it.
Give me a second. My AirPods just disconnected. Why are we having so many problems tonight?
Oh, that's digital age. Oh. I think the Usos take the belts. I don't think the belts are as compelling on the New Day when there's only 2 of them. So I think the Usos having the belts is better, and then have the New Day chase, and they ultimately get the belts back when Xavier comes back.
Isn't it Jimmy versus Big E versus
Miz? Yeah.
But Jimmy's the one with the DUIs.
That's fine.
No one knows them separated anyways. It doesn't matter.
Well, they've every time that he's gotten a DUI, they've literally won the titles within a month, so they're overdue.
Yeah,
they're overdue, or they're getting another DUI.
Real quick, the Revival's released new T-shirts already.
They're not the Revival, right? They're a new name.
But we'll talk about it after.
Right.
So
let's move on to Dynamite then.
No. Let's jump to NXT and stay in the same realm, and then we'll do Dynamite last.
Yeah, go ahead and do NXT.
And NXT was short, sweet, and to the point.
Yeah, there's 2 matches.
So we had the women's ladder match for the number 1 contendership versus Charlotte.
And Io Shirai won, right?
Io Shirai won, which is not a surprise. I mean, Charlotte could run through all 6 of these women in the next 6 to 8 months.
12 minutes.
I'm just saying, and then reset up Rhea. Now
that's my problem with this match is that won. I think she's
You think Mia should have won?
Out of all the women in this match. I mean, I think she has the biggest potential. I think
she has the most to lose. Yeah.
You should have let Tegan Knox win, or even Mia Yim. I would have been fine with, but I don't know. I'm a huge
Mia Yim getting squashed by Charlotte.
I'm a huge Io Shirai fan,
and you don't want to see her lose to Charlotte, and I get that.
No,
I get that.
She's great in the ring. She's fantastic in the ring.
I don't see Charlotte dropping that title to her either. So
absolutely not.
Now the rumor was going around that the reason Rhea lost the belt was because her work visa was expiring.
And then she posted on Snapchat that she was still in the United States.
Correct. Well, and I'm sorry, but not only does the WWE have a ton of foreign talent, but they also have a ton of Australian talent. There's no way in hell they would have let that come into play and cause an unknown. They're just better than that. I don't care.
I mean, that's not true. That's happened to them before.
No, that's happened to TNA before. WWE is very good about.
No, it's happened to WWE before.
I mean, you don't hear it. They're pretty good about that. I can't imagine they were having issues with this.
If they were having issues, you should never put the belt on it because visas aren't
right. They knew when it was going to expire. I mean, they were not going to put a belt on a foreign talent and have her in WrestleMania, the only NXT championship ever defended on WrestleMania, to have a work visa expire. I just don't buy that. Whatever the story.
It happened to Wade Barrett and Drew McIntyre in 2011.
Okay, so some undercard talent that didn't matter at the time. That's fine.
I mean, getting squat. I mean, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's happened. It'll happen to the biggest. Even if they're the biggest company on the planet, it'll happen.
I don't see that being the reason she dropped the belt.
Well, not to mention she's not back in Australia because I mean, with the whole thing, pandemic going.
I mean, but technically, you could post a video on Snapchat.
You can't work. She can't technically work either. Her visa right now.
Oh, that could be true.
Even if she's in the
United States. Even if she's in the United States, she can't work. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Either way,
it's not like that. Charlotte working either though. Charlotte still hasn't done a match since then, so
she won't, bro.
Right. I mean, if her work visa expired, say this week or whatever, and Charlotte did NXT TV or she was on Raw or SmackDown or whatever, they could have filmed that when they were filming Mania, and they could have set up vignettes for the next 6 weeks for her, or set up some promos or whatever they wanted to do. They could have worked around it. I'm just saying I don't believe that was the reason that Rhea dropped that belt.
Yeah.
That's
like we talked about it. We said that could be why, but we never.
Right. So
I think Rhea comes back on the main roster anyway.
All right. So just a quick shot.
I don't know
do you
what's
think
happen
Io
to her,
beats Charlotte at any point in time in the next 3 months? Okay. No, I agree. No.
Maybe like by disqualification. Like Charlotte fucking beats her ass. Like Charlotte's done that before, right?
Yeah.
That's Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, she did it to Rousey. We get a Walter or Alexander Wolf versus Finn Balor match from NXT UK at some point. They're still moving forward with the Walter versus Balor match, which is going to be great. I don't want to see Balor become UK NXT champion, so I don't know how they're going to get around not doing the belt. But they also can't have. I don't know how they can have either one of these guys lose right now. That's the other issue. I don't like the direction they're going with this. But
I think Finn can take an L.
No.
Finn's been taking L's for years, dog.
Yeah,
he hasn't taken L's since he come back.
And people still love his ass.
But he hasn't, since he's been heel and since he's been doing the Prince Balor, he has not taken a loss. And I don't think he should lose to Walter. No offense to the UK brand, but Finn is a bigger deal to the WWE entity than Walter is. Walter will never move to the States. Walter will never be on a main roster.
Is that Finn something personal? He just doesn't want to?
Yeah, he said he'll never move to the United States.
Because WWE bought all the English promotions, and he said the reason I'm here is to represent those promotions.
Yeah.
Like there was a huge ordeal about it.
Yeah,
so they get him enough money.
And Walter's great. If you haven't watched enough Walter matches, go back and watch them because he's fantastic to watch. And you look at him on a screen, and you think a taller, chubbier William Regal, but he's actually a good wrestler.
The only reason I think Balor goes over is Vince. It goes back to that video I showed you. Vince sees the NXT, the UK brand as a flop. And the only way to unflop it is to stick your star power in it and hope it sticks. Like Charlotte's going to NXT. Finn Balor will go to NXT UK because he's getting paid shit tons of money to not do anything on NXT. It's going to be a very ugly scenario because nobody is still going to care about NXT UK.
I agree.
They're great matches. They're great. But nobody's going to sit at home at 2:00 in the afternoon in the United States and watch NXT UK footage on WWE Network.
So I think we'll get the Walter Finn match on an American NXT Takeover program. The question is, do they do it for a belt? I mean, I know Walter has, or can Walter drop that belt before that match somehow? Maybe Finn cost him the belt, so they don't have to have the belt online. I just don't want them to put that belt on Finn as well.
Well, who are they going to put the belt on besides him?
Put it back on Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne's on the main roster now.
Pete Dunne's in NXT.
Well, he's not on the main roster. He's in NXT America.
That's their problem. They keep taking all the UK and put them on NXT.
But 3 months ago, you said there's no more developmental. Well, they're all the main roster.
Well, yeah, but UK is something totally different. It's not even developmental. It's just.
Agree.
But they're also not going to have Pete Dunne go back and forth to Orlando.
Put it on fucking Tyler Bate. I'm fine with that. I mean, put it on. I mean, there's people he can drop the belt to there. I mean, but either way, I we'll see how they move forward with that storyline. So, we get another cinematic wrestling match. Now, this was not as cinematic as either of the matches at Mania, but it definitely had a cinematic feel. There was no hard camera anywhere in this match. All the cameras were handhelds. They went through the arena outside. They came back into the arena. I do think this was taped on a Universal set. I don't think it was at the Performance Center or at Full Sail.
The Universal set, like the Impact Zone?
Yeah. In that area, because we've been to Full Sail, and they definitely weren't at Full Sail, and they definitely weren't at the Performance Center. So wherever they taped this was it was supposed to be an undisclosed location, but I do think it was on the Universal set. And the finish of this match, we see Candice LeRae nutshot Gargano, which was a ploy, and then she nutshots Ciampa, and Gargano was wearing a cup, and Gargano gets the win.
So they did the exact same thing. It's funny that if it was in the Impact Zone, like it's not the Impact Zone anymore,
right?
But because Candice and Johnny Gargano did that in TNA. I can't remember. I think it was against either Sami Callihan or Moose. It was Johnny Gargano's last feud in Impact, and they did the exact same thing.
Angle, yeah,
and
it worked.
I was like, God damn,
the match was fine. It was very entertaining they went an hour, even though there was commercial breaks, which is impressive. And the finish, though, I think really sold me on the match. I remember the finish. I thought they did it really well. And I thought it was, I thought NXT with just those two matches topped AEW this week. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because they had two matches that were relevant.
Right. And they were calling it NXT Takeover Performance Center or something.
They even had the takeover sign.
Yeah, so I mean, and we're gonna get that again next week one more time. They're gonna do two versions of that.
My thing with the Gargano, or I guess it was the Blackheart versus Rebel Heart match, is the cinematics. I think you mentioned it. I love that shit. That they need to do that with almost every match. Like that was so well done. It took my mind off no crowd. I was like, I felt like I was watching a movie, and I don't know. It
was such a good blend because it wasn't overdone.
It wasn't overdone, no. But the cuts were good.
Yeah, exactly. It was. I agree, 100%.
That's something 100%. They need to do. Hopefully, I'm sure we will, because all these matches were pre-taped and they're all big matches, so I think they're all gonna.
So we're obviously getting Dream and Adam Cole.
Right, they teased that, right?
So where do you go with Gargano and Ciampa?
Honestly, I know Ciampa doesn't want to ever go to the main roster, but like, what else is this guy gonna do in NXT? Same thing goes with I don't know. Put him in a tag team again. I really don't care.
Get him off. I agree 100%.
Get him out of NXT. I love them. I love NXT, but there's nothing else you can do there, man. Like, move on. Go get squashed on SmackDown like it's gonna happen in NXT.
Yeah.
Put him back in a tag team though.
Think about how good their feud could be with the Usos. It would be so good.
The New Day, the Uso. Right. I mean, anyone.
It would be so good. And I hope they can try to explain a storyline where that's where they go back. Because while they're great singles wrestlers in NXT, and I think they have enough character in NXT, neither one of them are single wrestlers that can make it on the main roster. Maybe Ciampa, definitely not Gargano, though.
I don't know, man. I'll tell you what. If Triple H was running the company,
he's not.
they would be both on the main
and
roster.
And the XFL is gone. Vince is coming back full force, and everybody who Vince doesn't like is fucking done.
Yep.
Like, I'm sorry to say it. Like, unless I mean, I have a theory about the XFL coming back, but they're laying off of the employees to get one of those small business loans. Because if you hire all your employees back, the loan is forgiven. You don't have to pay it back. So they can just operate for free for 2 years.
I agree. Let them skip the 2021 season and let them come back again in 2022.
But anyway, let's get back on topic. Vince is going to come back and put his whatever size foot it is up all those tiny wrestlers' asses. Like, they got Ricochet.
That is the way of the future, bro. If he doesn't get on, he'll be dead before it actually comes.
It doesn't matter. He doesn't care.
I know.
Like, you're gonna like
his stock price tells that.
Ricochet and Apollo Crews in a tag team. What are they going to do?
Alexander.
Clean floor? Or said whatever. The same person.
He's stuck in his ways, and he's definitely racist. He puts all the African Americans in tag team, all the Hispanics, and that's good shit. Like
Titus Worldwide versus fucking Lucha House.
I know, dude. I know, it's ridiculous.
Loser gets deported match. Vince McMahon special.
Can we note that not Sin Cara, one of the Lucha House Party members beat Braun Strowman in a 1-on-1 match?
Yeah, it was Grand Metalik, I think.
Grand Metalik beat Braun Strowman in a 1-on-1 match.
So, real quick, I want to correct something. I don't think it was Johnny Gargano in Impact, but Candice LeRae was in the same type of storyline.
I thought they did it well was the point.
I think it was Joey Ryan.
And I'm okay with Candice LeRae being a heel. And then the other big note to come out of the end of this match was when they got into the car and left, there was another car sitting with lights on.
Yeah, and it had Killer Cross and Scarlett in it.
Yes, Killer Cross and Scarlett Bordeaux, which means, we've seen the Killer Cross promos. I think Scarlett's going to be with him, which she looked
terrifying in that picture. You see that picture? She looked like a skull.
She's going to be awesome.
Who does he feud with?
We don't know yet. He doesn't have maybe Gargano or Ciampa. I mean, if Scarlett Bordeaux's involved, it could easily be Gargano and Candice LeRae.
I don't think she's going to be awesome.
Scarlett Bordeaux?
Yeah, I mean, I think she's awesome, but I don't think WWE is going to use her
the way she wants to be used.
I'm saying, like, they're going to relegate her to be the next Lana. Because like Zelina Vega, great on the mic, so they keep her on the mic. They don't let her wrestle. Lana, great on the mic when she wants to be. Otherwise, she's a soap opera star. They don't let her wrestle. Scarlett Bordeaux, however you pronounce her goddamn name.
The difference,
I watched 3 matches today of hers and Killer Cross's after watching that match, and I was like, wow, everybody pronounces her name differently.
Scarlett Bordeaux, I believe, is correct, but
also she's best friends with Seth Rollins' ex-wife.
That's interesting. The difference between Lana and Zelina Vega and Scarlett Bordeaux is, and I'll try to say this as PC as possible,
they're not blonde, big-titted women.
They're not Trish Stratus. Scarlett Bordeaux is the closest thing that Vince McMahon will have to Trish Stratus since Trish Stratus. So, and honestly,
this is some good shit.
Yeah, so I can see her actually coming out ahead of those two, but we'll see.
Anyway, so yeah, that's all I have on the NXT show. As you know, I don't really watch NXT that much. I did watch the match. I didn't like the end of it because I've seen it before. Obviously, at this point, we've all seen everything.
Yeah, that's fair.
But like in such a hyped
the Boneyard match and the Firefly Funhouse match.
But in such a hyped match, you expect something better. But obviously, Candice being involved, like nobody saw it. I mean, we could have seen it coming.
I saw her throwing in the towel for Gargano. I did not see what they did for sure.
Back to what you're saying, Gargano would never make it on the main roster, Freddie. I don't care what you think. Tommaso Ciampa.
Daniel Bryan was never going to make it on the main roster either. And
he's not Daniel Bryan.
He's not.
Same size.
But he's not as good in the ring or on the mic.
You don't think Gargano's as good on the ring? First of all, Daniel Bryan's only been good on the mic for like fucking 2 years. Other than that, Daniel Bryan was trash on the mic.
Daniel Bryan's been fine on the mic since Team Hell No.
I don't know.
And you're gonna put Gargano on the same wrestling level as Bryan. Like, I don't think he's too many pegs below Bryan, but he's definitely a peg or two below Bryan. I mean,
I just don't see like how like he's not like he's like what 5'10", 190.
If we're lucky, I mean,
like
he's just lucky. 205 Live is still not a thing. That's what he's lucky.
Johnny Gargano.
Trash.
He is 5'10",
You know what? Here's my wish.
$199.
Gargano leaves WWE, goes to AEW, becomes the fucking star he deserves to be. There you go.
AEW is gonna stop signing WWE talent eventually.
That's fine. We'll wait for this one to sign, and then they can stop.
I think we get Rusev and the Revival, and then I don't know how long until we see someone else there.
That's because everyone else is locked in a 5-year fucking contract.
Make fun of Vince all you want, but the man's smart.
I don't know. I think they're gonna, after this whole debacle, they've lost a lot of money. I don't see them being able to just sign all this.
Yeah, they can't. They lost a lot of money.
They've lost a lot of money, and not to mention the blood money Saudi Arabia deal is not going the way they wanted to go.
And they were doing a deal with all the streaming services to play their old content, like the videos and stuff that are on WWE Network. And then that fell through because of coronavirus. So they were going to make like billions of dollars off that, and now it's not happening.
They'll bounce back. They'll be fine.
No, they definitely will.
But what we're saying is, if anybody's contract's coming up that they don't want in the next year, they can't just throw money at them because
they could. I don't
think they will. Like Vince had to throw in the towel on his baby, the XFL, again. Like you said,
I think there's more that to meets the eye there.
Yeah, especially since Linda's on the small business council.
Of course she is.
Anyway, so going to AEW, I guess. Ferdy, you want to take it?
AEW is the best. Yes.
You get a 6-minute Cody Rhodes promo of him smoking a cigar and staring at the camera. And you can actually see like one of his cuts, like where he bladed too deep, and I was like, "Damn, this dude's fucking."
You are bypassing the most important thing I thought you would bring up about AEW this week. Is that La Champion was on commentary.
La Champion,
and he was fantastic. I thought
elevates
he was great.
The show a lot.
It really does. It had that heel type commentary. It was fantastic, and he was putting over everybody. I don't know if you guys noticed that or you listened.
And he called Cody a pompous ass.
Yes, everything about him was great. I mean, AEW wasn't as great, but I mean, I don't think it's going to be. I think NXT. I think you're 100% right. I think NXT was way better, just because the matches meant more. But
it's takeover. So.
It's the first time, and NXT did win the ratings by 1,000 viewers, literally 1,000 viewers.
Really,
I'm looking at that right now, actually.
And if you're following us, you're gonna find myself leaning always more towards NXT and these two leaning more towards AEW. But I will be the first to admit that especially during the Dusty Tag Team Classic, there wasn't a week that NXT was better than AEW. So
I would say this is the first week
in a long time.
I can remember
in a long time. I completely agree with you. It did happen this week though.
There was still a lot of good stuff on the show, which we'll go over. I mean, just kick it off. Lance Archer fought a jobber. I mean, there was nothing special, but I love his character. Oh, the show actually started off with
Britt Baker.
No, it started off with Jake Roberts giving that promo.
Oh right, yeah, the promo about
which is. That guy, I can listen to him talk. I want him to read me a book. I don't know. Like, I love his promos. I think putting him with Lance Archer was a fantastic.
This is Jake the Snake Roberts reads 50 Shades of Grey. He took me into the closet.
What a missed opportunity for WWE to take him after his Hall of Fame and put him with someone and make him a massive star.
It's because of all his issues, and then DDP saved his life.
Right.
And
that's what I'm saying. They should have took that opportunity and ran with it. And they didn't put him on TV once. I mean,
nope.
They missed the boat on utilizing Jake the Snake or doing what they did with Sean and hiring him at the Performance Center. Jake doesn't have a lot going on in his life. They could have easily moved him to Orlando and paid him to be at the Performance Center. I agree. That was one where Vince and Triple H overlooked the opportunity. They had the opportunity and they didn't take it.
And Jake, I think recently on I don't know if it was a podcast or whatever, he's still very thankful for Vince because Vince helped him so much.
He still wears his WWE Hall of Fame ring on broadcast.
On AEW, yes.
Yeah. So I mean, but you know what? The man has to work, and I'm glad he's doing what he's doing because his promos I can listen to all day, man. But the match was nothing special. I mean, I don't think you guys have anything really to say about it. It was a squash match, but it did its job.
Do you like
what I do like?
Yes, I think he's great. I went back and actually watched some of his matches because I wasn't too familiar with him. I think he's a character that AEW needs, a bigger character. And not to mention the character they're going with him with Jake the Snake Roberts is fantastic. I don't know where it leads to yet, but I don't care because
he's gonna be TNT champion.
I hope I hope not. I don't think he needs it, but if he is, it's going to elevate the title. It's going to elevate.
I mean, it's going to be him versus Cody, and
right.
Cody's the one person in that company who doesn't need a title.
No, that guy's so over.
But you can have Cody chase and actually get the big W too against him at some point. I think.
Because Cody
first and then chase is fine.
Yeah, it's always smart to do that
because Cody can never win the world championship. So.
Right.
I'm sure that'll change. But the Jake the Snake versus Cody commentary is really good.
Yes.
Jake talked about his legacy, and then Cody was like, "I've held the same title you have." He's like, "And you only held it one time." He's like, "So I'm not I don't know if he could have been talking about Lance or Jake the Snake because Lance Archer held the same title in New Japan that Cody held. What was it, the U.S. title?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Cody and Lance have both held the New Japan United States title, but Jake the Snake and Cody have both been Intercontinental Champion.
Greatest wrestler to never hold the main championship in WWE, Jake the Snake Roberts?
Wrestler or overall just?
Wrestler. I mean,
biggest
star to never hold the WWE championship. I mean,
I'm going through my mind. I can't think of a lot off the top of my head.
Yeah, you put us through a lot of shit on the spot, Troy.
Yeah, that's a lot of. That's a.
But it's. I don't think there's anyone in question. Honky Tonk Man would be the other.
No, fuck no.
You're talking about greatest Intercontinental champions.
Right.
I can't think of anyone else. You could have argued Mick Foley until he won it. If he didn't win that one championship, you could obviously put him in that conversation.
Razor Ramon.
Chris Benoit, if he didn't win.
Chris Benoit won the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, he won the World Heavyweight Championship.
I know. I said if he didn't.
Oh.
Let's hang on. No, I think you gave the most interesting one you can give. Let's debate that. Razor Ramon or Jake the Snake?
I mean, I hate Scott Hall, so I was just naming somebody who won.
I'm gonna go Jake the Snake because I think Scott Hall is a terrible wrestler. So
I think the only reason I would take Razor Ramon is he made Shawn Michaels relevant in a time where there's a ton of people. Yeah, he made a lot of people relevant in a time where nobody wanted to watch wrestling.
I'll say two things about him and then we can move on. He's one of the greatest minds in the business ever. Scott Hall is. He's responsible for the Crows thing. And I also think he can sell with anybody. Little guy, big guy, small guy, it doesn't matter. I think he was great at selling. He wasn't the greatest in the ring, but I think he was great at selling.
I said Razor Ramon because everything after that was just him washing out.
Yeah.
He went to WCW.
Right.
And then just got drunk. And
after they added the fourth man to the NWO and forward, Scott Hall was not the Scott Hall that we
Scott Hall used to show pissed around. Yeah, you see that on interviews and stuff. He's like, "Yo, how you good?" He's talking like fucking Rocky Balboa. How you doing?
The other thing about Jericho on commentary here is the way he put people over. One thing that he comes across as is super humble, but very aware of his position in wrestling history. Well, no, just his position in wrestling history. One thing that just bothers the shit out of me is Stone Cold. If you listen to his podcast and listen to him talk, I don't think there's a humble bone in Stone Cold's body. I love Stone Cold, but he's on his high horse at all given times. Jericho knows where he's at in wrestling history, but he's humble enough and he can sit there and put people over without bringing it back to him. And it's a very overlooked thing in the industry, and I think Jericho is the best at it. I really do.
The Tampa Bay Times did an article about him, WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah.
It's an honest to God awesome article. It's called I'll send it to you after this. It was April 1st, and it's still got a picture of him as the champion, with the belt, Le Champion.
I will not put him in GOAT territory, but I don't think AEW succeeds as much as it has without him.
Right, because he's in GOAT territory. Let's move on to the next match because I'm curious to think of Strunks. It was Britt Baker versus Shida.
Britt Baker's a star.
I think this match was actually pretty good.
Yeah. This may be the best women's match on AEW so far.
I don't know so far, but I will say this is another match that Jericho put Britt Baker over every chance he got. I don't know if you guys are listening to that too, but man, this guy. Not to mention, yes, I agree that she is a star, and her and Shivani's thing. Like when she turned to the camera and was like yelling at the camera about it, like I was like, God, man, like I can't wait for her to get the belt. Like in a sense, like she doesn't need it necessarily, but like that build up's gonna be great. So
like when she kneed old girl in the face and just like jumped up and sat with her.
Mm-hmm.
She's
like
great.
I don't know if you saw like the clip AEW posted to Instagram, and it's like, let me tell you about my best friend. And
How do they get the belt to her? Because they can't take it off Nyla with Bray.
Well, Nyla hasn't defended it in 2 weeks. 3 weeks.
I don't think she's gonna. I honestly don't think she will have the belt for a while. I don't think, like I said, I don't think she needs it. I think she's gonna be one of those women that help the other women get over, or like elevate them up a little bit, because I mean she's going to do a great job at that. So
but if you lose so many matches, you losing to them isn't going to get them over anymore.
No, I got you. And she has taken some L's. Last week she's
taken a lot of L's, but she's on like Finn Balor L territory.
Yeah, but she's still over. I think
Here's
that's important.
The thing though, like, okay, so let's pretend, all right, nothing against Riho, but nobody gave a shit. Nobody cared, right?
Right.
So let's pretend they put Nyla as I mean the first champion. That's where their division lies right now, is with Nyla. In my opinion, there's no difference in putting it on if you're building a division and saying, okay, well, Nia Jax is gonna be our first champion.
Well, they don't have enough faces in the women's side yet.
No,
as
but
they do heels.
If I was gonna build a division and build a heel champion, it would have been with Britt Baker.
Well,
I don't know. Nyla's great, man. I really like Nyla. I think she's great on the mic. I mean, she doesn't cut the best promos, but she gets on there, does what she needs to say, and her matches are pretty good.
And if it is Nyla, they should have had a face Britt Baker chasing her then.
Well, what's her name? Chris Statlander is a fucking star too.
Yes.
Kylie Ray.
Kylie Ray that left the company.
She left.
Yeah.
Right before. Now. I think they had a lot of plans with her. I think she would have been a bigger, influence in the beginning picture. But
I actually read an article, and it was like the 5 women that AEW missed out on, and Scarlett Boudreaux is one of them. Emma, Tennille Dashwood.
I still think she'll end up there.
Yeah,
probably eventually, because TNA, unless Mark Cuban takes over, is going to fold regardless of who owns it.
Yep.
Mercedes
Lewis
Martinez,
or Mercedes
Lewis, and then
definitely
is now in NXT.
Right. So and then I forget 60. The other one, and Kylie Ray was one of them. So the point is for some reason women don't want to work there.
I don't think that's the case.
I mean it goes back to the old saying, maybe it's you after a while,
or they're
not getting told.
I think you're going too far on that. Not to mention that they're paying them equal as they are the men.
No, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why this is, and it bashes one of my favorite people in the industry, and it's because of Kenny Omega, who's booking the women's division, and his affection for Jushi wrestling.
I don't think he is
right.
Anymore.
So that's my next point. Point is all the American women are heels.
Yep.
Minus Chris Statlander,
who is a tweener at best.
Yeah. So
she's pretty
what I'm saying is why does every English-speaking female on that show have to be a heel? But because they're cute and Asian, do they have to come out and save the day?
Because
Kenny Omega has some kind of fetish, and God forbid, you could bring in Dean Malenko in a book for you, because Dean Malenko works there anyway, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. You bring Dean Malenko in the book for you. He's a producer
they have
and Billy Gunn.
They have them all there.
The only thing that AEW has stumbled on is their women's division, and I think. They do a lot of good things, but I don't think that they don't want to work there. I think it's just
if they want to work there, they'd be working there, because because people are definitely getting more money at AEW than they're getting at Impact. But then Kylie Ray and Emma, the two of the hottest female wrestlers who don't want to go to WWE, signs with a company that is a female world champion but doesn't let you challenge for that championship.
Well, I read something, and I don't know what exactly it was, that Emma already signed.
Emma had signed with Impact before she had an opportunity.
Way before. Yeah. She did have that opportunity during the, whatever they call it, this Royal Rumble thing. But yeah, she already signed, I guess. So
was it all
the Kylie Ray thing? I don't know. No one knows. Apparently, that was very hush hush. There was no leaks about it. Apparently, it was very Tony Khan Which this is another thing though I like about AEW, which I know I'm fanboying, is that she called him and just like, "Yo, I don't like what's going on, or I don't like the situation I'm in," and he just released her. He's like, "You know what? Cool. You know what?
They were very
nonchalant.
Well, no, they were very
professional.
There's a specific word I'm looking for.
Cordial.
No, what's like when you're upfront. Transparent.
Upfront?
They were very transparent.
Yeah.
In the whole situation, which is again a great thing. But you talk about like Mercedes Martinez, who was in that battle royal and should have won that battle royal, and instead is now in NXT. Like,
well, and then there's word on that she was told she'd win the battle royal,
right? Which is why she was there, and then she got screwed.
And she's like, you know what? If you're not going to keep your word, why do I need your money? I'm going.
I don't think
I'm going to go to the company that literally switches everything last second.
Yeah, but
they're going to pay me more.
Yeah, that's true too.
And I'm going to be world famous. I'm going to be world famous.
Here's the thing. I don't think the ball is so far dropped that it can't be recovered. I just think that there's a lot of work to do in the division, and I honestly don't think Nyla is the answer.
No, she's the feeler until we get the other women built up a little bit. That's what I'm saying.
I can live with that. I can live with that.
But you can't have Britt Baker go.
Britt Baker is going to be the biggest face of that company, women wise, in another year,
and she should be.
People already love her. That's the thing. So,
you better hope Tessa resigns with Impact. Tesla will come body slam Nyla, and I would just
Tesla is going to get out of her contract and say Tessa. Sorry. I am not going to work in the women's division anymore, so you have to put me in the men's division.
Yeah. She's going to win the TNT championship.
And Kenny Omega would be stoked. He'd be like, I am so hot for these possibilities right now.
Ever since, I will say this, though, ever since that the article came out that said Tony Khan got more involved in the women's division, it's got on a course, at least, I would say. It's not all over the place. So, I don't know. We'll see. Let's go to the next match, which was Best Friends versus Kenny and Mike Nakazawa.
That's like Kenny's buddy from New Japan, right?
Do you see the steam coming off my face right now? Like,
he is. Well, all right. Let me hear it. Let me hear you first, then.
Why are you giving fucking Omega losses at all? I don't care in what form. The man should not be in a match where he takes an L ever. He is the biggest star in that company, and he is the best wrestler in the world. Stop putting him in matches with Michael Nakazawa. What the fuck?
I think this goes back to him wanting to kind of do his own thing. I think they need to take a little bit of.
He's his own worst enemy.
Here's what I said. He's the only person that shouldn't have got a VP role. And personally, I'm not saying he can't do it, but I mean, if you look like everything we talk about, he's involved in sucks a little bit.
If he didn't have that VP role, though, he'd be in WWE right now. So,
you know what? I'm not saying he didn't deserve it or whatever. I'm just saying, like, I agree with you. He shouldn't be taking L's. He shouldn't be taking L's.
I don't think he'd be in the WWE if he didn't get an VP.
100%.
No, they offered him
100%
money.
They offered him money and creative control. He would have been in WWE
and a way out
title and a way out, which has never been done before. He would have been in WWE without a VP title, 100%.
It was a fun match. Other than the L they took, I thought the match was fun. It was a comedy match, I guess. So
I just like at some point you gotta stop bringing in people because they're your buddies.
Well, no, he's been there from the beginning. I mean, I know you don't
always
watch.
Been there from early on.
I don't know if you watched the
Being the Elite. Yeah, I do. But I'm saying
they had a little thing before this match too to set it up. So
yeah, I know, I saw it. But I'm saying they had no reason to have this match. Omega is in a tag team championship role with somebody else. That's like showing up to your girlfriend's cookout with a different chick and be like, "What up?"
I think it's just one of those matches, man. It's a filler. It's
like showing up to your girlfriend's cookout with a 14-year-old girl, and everyone has questions, right? And everyone has questions like, "Why are you here with a 14-year-old girl?" Like, it makes no sense whatsoever.
I agree. I think this is. I mean, Adam Page wasn't there. Obviously, I think this is just like one of those filler matches. Go out there and put on a fun match, and that's it. So,
and look, they can reward best friends. Omega had a fantastic match with Trent, right? Last week. And so, I mean, I get the fact that what they're trying to do here, Kenny went over Trent in a singles match last week. That's fine. And they want to reward the best friends for, going out there and, I don't like the best friends, but Almost the same way I don't like Baron Corbin. I don't like Baron Corbin, but I think Baron Corbin's good for the company. I don't like the Best Friends, but I do think they're good at what they're doing in the company. Right. So I'm okay with them coming out and getting their hand raised. I think it could have been anyone other than Kenny Omega.
But they're trying to. But then they like the reason this match works for the Best Friends to win is because Kenny and Mike aren't necessarily a tag team.
I agree. A tag team should always beat two good single wrestlers. A good tag team should always beat two good singles wrestlers.
And not to mention,
only had one good singles wrestler.
Was all, yeah. Although he's actually pretty good in the ring. I thought he had some great spots. The underwear spot at the end, why they lost or whatever, is hilarious.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is the reason they can go over is because they're not an actual tag team. They're just friends going out to wrestle.
Yeah.
If it was another tag team, then it would diminish. It would diminish that tag team's.
And here's another gripe about AEW. I would be perfectly fine with that if next time Kenny Omega came out for a singles match, it just showed his singles record. Stop showing me overall record. Because those losses... No, I don't like that because those losses add up and they look bad. If you're going to show wins and losses, just show me when I'm going out as a tag team. Show me when I'm going out as singles. Don't mix and match the two as an overall. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't count against their rankings.
It's like if you're like a double champion and you come out with just one title belt for your championship match. Yeah.
Right. So now, and if you guys don't know, before Fyter Fest, which was one of their pay-per-views, the year before AEW was a thing, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks and a lot of Japan talent, including Naito and Ibushi, came over for a CEO wrestling event.
Right. I remember that.
Right. That was Fyter Fest before Fyter Fest was called Fyter Fest. And in that match, Michael Nakazawa faced Jabali, who's the procurer of CEO. So Nakazawa's been involved in stuff Kenny Omega has been doing for years. And if you watch Being the Elite, you would have a good understanding of who Michael Nakazawa is. And I won't go into the gripe I have about the fluidity of Being the Elite in AEW TV without them showing. But we'll
there's a big following on it. I get it, but I like it's more backstory stuff than it is main story stuff. So it's like if you want a deeper dive into the story, it's
like playing Destiny and then having to go on YouTube and find out what everything's about.
Exactly. Yeah. If you want to read about the story, click on go to this webpage.
It's not okay.
It's not okay. It just gives me more content. More content I'm okay with. That's all.
Right, but they could be using AEW Dark to talk about that content, which is an actual TV show.
But do you guys watch Being the Elite? It's not wrestling.
I know, but
I understand, but it develops storyline.
It 100% develops storyline. Like
if you didn't watch it,
even if it doesn't directly develop storyline, it develops storyline.
No, I've watched AEW TV and went, man, if I didn't watch Being the Elite, this would make no sense to me.
See, I don't think so. I don't think any of the storylines intertwine enough where I was like, if I didn't watch this, I wouldn't understand this. And sometimes they do go back to it.
Thing. It literally has been setting up for months on Being the Elite.
They were setting it up on TV too, though.
But the backstory really feeds into it. I mean,
yes. Again, if you want a deeper dive, you have it.
Did Tony Khan get a piece of Being the Elite? Do we know?
I don't know.
No, absolutely not. They were doing that before they came in, and I guarantee they have full creative control of that going out.
I'm not saying creative control. I'm saying money-wise, did he get a piece?
No.
Well, Being the Elite, I don't know. It's a good question. I guess I'm gonna look that up.
What I'm saying is they were doing that before Tony Khan, and they want to be damn sure that they're doing it after Tony Khan.
I'm not arguing the fact that that's a thing, but what I'm saying is
I think they own a part of AEW. And I'm sure they own a very small portion of it, but I'm sure they have some type of stock in AEW.
My thing is, if AEW wants to show Being an Elite episode on their TV, are they paying
like Total Bellas?
I see. What
are
you're
they
saying.
paying the Young Bucks, or do they have rights to it? Like, I would love to know the dynamics of what the Being the Elite and AEW actually is.
They probably do pay. Like the company probably covers the production costs.
So it drives the fan base. Tied somehow, correct? Absolutely. Yeah. Okay.
Right. But after that, actually really like this too. AEW aired a couple video packages of Jake Hager and the Moxley match that's coming on.
Jake Hager, their number one contender of AEW.
I liked it. It was like a UFC build-up fight video package. I really liked it. I think it made Hager look a little bit more badass because he hasn't wrestled that much. So,
yeah, John Moxley promo.
Yep. Yes. Yep. And then let's see. After that, they had the Brody Lee
squash
match. A lot of squash matches tonight. I feel like, huh?
I don't understand. Like, people know who Brody Lee is.
I love this Brody Lee character.
No, but I know. But what I'm saying is, like, they know that he.
But he was a jobber for most of his career on WWE.
Well, he's a tag team champion. He's an Intercontinental
champion.
Yeah.
Again, he was a jobber most of his career.
So was Cody. The same two titles Cody held in WWE.
But that's why I like this character so much, because he's basically like the main character in the stable where he's trying to like show jobbers the way.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of backstory on this that I really like.
But they could have had a different member of the
Dark Order.
The Dark Order. Sorry, I'm so
8 or 9.
They could have had another member squash this jobber, and that would have been Brody Lee's success story for the day.
No, what it's going to be is the Dark Order losing. It's going to be Dark Order members losing, and then Brody Lee beating them down, and then them still following him to build up his cult-like personality.
Right.
So the only person that's going to win in that stable ever is going to be Brody Lee.
Right. Well, they haven't really shown much of
Uno and
yeah.
What's his name, man?
What's his other name? Jesus. But then they had the video package.
Butcher in the Blade. Oh wait, no, that's someone else. No, the same thing.
No, they had a video package. I don't know if it was before or after the match of him pulling up with his car, and
in the Range Rover.
He was talking to I know. No, it was a Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon.
Yeah.
Telling him if they don't want to look like everyone else, basically wear a tie, I guess, and took him inside or took the one guy.
It zoomed in on the dude's shirt and it was all wrinkled and shit, and he's like, so like I don't know if you noticed that, like the shirts were all wrinkled and stuff.
Well, the one guy was wearing a tie like him too, like the guy that took in the building with him.
So he was the only one who didn't have wrinkles all over his shirt and stuff. So like that was the thing. He's like, I need you to do something for me. Because like he was the one who was like squared away, so he's like learning from the Exalted One.
Right.
So he's like, so as a reward, you get to help me. And then they like walk into some random trailer that has AEW stapled to the door.
Right. Well, I wonder what that would be.
They got 35 years of Vince McMahon on TV to copy still, so they got plenty of
Cody Rhodes did an interview and he's like,
bullshit.
He's like, yeah, I know, but he's like, just because there's similarities doesn't mean we're trying to copy Vince McMahon.
Listen, the second the guy sneezed and he flipped out, they're copying Vince McMahon. I mean,
that was hilarious. That was the best shit on TV.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Which I'm personally fine with. I'm not arguing. I like it. I'm just saying
it makes good TV.
Yeah,
it makes.
But imagine one of those dudes killing that jobber, and then Brody Lee standing on the side going, "This is some good shit." Like,
my God.
It'll happen.
Listen,
after the Firefly Funhouse match, trust me, it'll happen.
We need to make a T-shirt and fucking copy or trademark that right now. Like,
this is some good shit.
This is some good shit.
We'll get cease and desist by WWE real quick.
Not if we have the trademark.
As we're telling everyone on the road. But I mean, it's a squash match. Yeah, it's fine. We're gonna go back to this video and we'll have proof.
Yeah, there you go.
Then after that was Cody versus Shawn Spears.
We had the Cody promo and then.
Sorry. Yes, the Cody promo, which was fine.
Smoking and joking and talking trash about either Lance Archer or Jake the Snake Roberts. I'm not totally sure. Probably both. They both have pretty similar stories to Cody.
If you're a WWE mid-carder, if I was a WWE executive, Shawn Spears would be my poster boy as to why the grass isn't greener. Right?
Why?
I mean, he's a great character.
When has he won a match? He won more in NXT than he did in.
Well, they're doing the side angle. He's looking for a tag team. He's going to be in a tag team.
So it's going to be some Nicholas kid that's going to end up being his partner or something like.
I can see him. I
don't know where they're going to go with it. No, Darby Allin is going to win that TNT belt very quick. in the next year. I think that guy.
He's the underdog story that could beat Lance Archer, honestly.
100%. But I would say they're not doing a lot with him, but they're doing way more with him than WWE did. I mean, shit, at least he's wrestling on TV.
He isn't though. He isn't wrestling on TV. He had a pay-per-view match, and then he's had
a few
one or two matches, maybe on non-dark TV. I mean, again, I'm just saying, if I was WWE, Sean Spears would be the poster boy of saying, "Look, grass is not always greener. You're not the Revival. You're not Brody Lee. You could be this, Sean Spears." You know, like that's all I'm saying. I think they wasted him.
I've watched him on a few podcasts and stuff outside, and he really likes what he's doing right now. Him and what's his name, Tyler Breeze opened up the wrestling school in Orlando, and he does that most of his days now, since he only has to wrestle or be on site one day a week.
Freddie, when Sprint becomes T-Mobile, you're really gonna like what you're doing then too, especially if they're paying you more. That doesn't mean it's better.
It is. Well, I don't know. He's wrestling more. All I'm saying is he's wrestling more, making probably just as much, if not more, and has a lighter schedule. Is greener on the other side? Probably.
And he's learning from Tully Blanchard. Like, he might not be getting a lot, but eventually he'll be a singles competitor. Eventually, he'll get a TNT title run pretty soon.
We'll see.
I can see him. I mean, I like him as a contrast to Darby Allin. That's why I say it. So if Darby Allin wins that title, I can see him feuding with Darby Allin for that title.
I guess this is coming from in my opinion, squash opportunity, because I thought the chairman gimmick after the Cody, even taking the loss, I thought they had a mid to high card talent.
Yeah, we all did. Yeah.
And then he just kind of disappeared. So
well, I think the point.
Well, he went to dark,
right? Yeah, which is like the main event of AEW.
How long has AEW TV been around? Since October, right?
October,
yeah, 6 months, right? 7 months.
So I mean, they can't push one mid carder right now. But they're not mid card.
Their mid card is pretty strong. If you really look at it, we just mentioned a few of them.
Like, I think they're in this weird place right now, and I think we talk about this all the time, where they're trying to funnel in as much talent as possible. So they're putting bricks down before they have a floor plan.
And it's a problem because you're seeing you'll see someone on TV and then you won't see them again for 2 or 3 weeks. And unfortunately, when you're building an audience and you're trying to build a fan base, you're building that fan base based on the talent they see that week. They come back next week to see them again, and then they're not there. And
right, and that's why they talked about adding more TV content next year and stuff. So, and they're going to move dark to actual TV.
Right.
So because like right now it's just on Fight Network, right, or
YouTube.
BR TV or YouTube.
Right.
Or
yeah. Oh, yeah. You're saying when Tony Khan answered that after the pay-per-view or whatever. He was saying that.
So they're gonna move dark to TV eventually, and I think that'll help mitigate some of that cluster because they're in a bottleneck right now. They have too many Chiefs, not enough Indians.
They have to rename dark too, because
dark means
it doesn't have enough luster. It already has a main event feel. So when they do move dark to TV, I think they have to rebrand it because to regain interest in what the program is. Because right now, I would probably
call it AEW Live or something simple.
Sure, which I'm okay with.
Or AEW Power Hour.
That's fine too.
Power Hour. Call it Nitro.
NWA has Power, so I don't know if they'll go Power Hour, but.
It's Power like 10
hours. What's something that's similar to Dynamite?
I was thinking the same thing. Like the Fuse, AEW Fuse or Wick or,
All I'm saying is NWA has Camille Brickhouse, and that's my WCW for the week. For the whole week. Did you see that? Yeah, we won't talk about that on the stream. Anyway.
I was saying the thing they do with their mid-card people, even like him, is they at least let them wrestle and give them a long match. This match
they do spread the losses out too.
They spread the losses out, and I know, and I'm speaking for probably more of the hardcore audience like myself. I mean, I get what you're saying when you get someone that's just flipping channels and they're 1 week they're not on TV, but for me, I don't mind it because I remember him taking an L, but I know he's gonna have a good match. We all knew he was gonna lose this match. That wasn't a question,
right?
But the match was all right. It wasn't nothing. The finish was awesome. He pinned him with the figure 4. I thought was awesome, and Jericho put that over like it was $1 million. Like,
it didn't help that they predestined the Cody Lance feud.
I think that's fine. I don't mind.
I mean, if both of them magically lose in this tournament, that'd be cool. Like you could have had Cody out in the first round, and then Lance get DQ'd for beating the shit out of somebody, and then you don't need a title for that feud.
You know, and I would agree with you totally, but the fact that the Young Bucks lost the first round of the tag team title tournament shows me that they're willing to not do the obvious.
Right, and I think like
they know they messed up though. They know they messed up bad by doing that. So maybe they won't. You know, sometimes obvious isn't bad in wrestling. I will say that. Sometimes
most of it's
predictable
obvious,
is good.
I would say.
So yeah, most of the time predictability is fine.
Yeah, like we know Cody and Lance are going to the finals. That's
fine because I think the story building up to it is going to be fantastic. I mean,
it's just weird they're building that feud without a guaranteed match. It's really strange that they are 100% talking to each other and building that when there's still paths they'll have to go through. You know, so they can both lose and then say we were distracted by each other. Okay.
Yeah, like that's what I was about to say. Like Cody can,
but then you're putting a loss on Archer, which I don't like.
Well, Lance can come out and distract Cody,
right?
And then Cody could come out and get Lance DQ'd by hitting the other guy or something stupid,
right?
Like we just talked about with the Sasha Bailey thing.
Yeah.
And then you don't need this belt for the feud.
You do not.
Because Jake Roberts is there making the feud, and Cody being the hype man of the year for AEW because he is.
Yep.
He's a little long-winded, but he's the hype man.
I'll play devil's advocate and say you need to put that belt on someone like Lance. It's going to elevate the belt. If you put it on someone like who else? Darby Allin's in it, right?
Yeah.
Or is he?
Yeah.
You put on Darby Allin. We all love Darby Allin. He gets the belt. That's it. Like there's no build. There's no after he wins it. It's not going to matter anymore.
I think it has to go on a heel.
It has to go on a heel, and it has to go on a heel like Lance, who's going to beat someone important like Cody. So that's going to make this belt go higher than it.
Holy fuck!
Just Darby Allin winning.
I just googled AEW TNT Championship belt or championship bracket, and like a belt just popped up, and I swear to God, if that's the belt, I'll never watch AEW.
No, they haven't announced the belt yet.
I'm just saying, if it's the belt, I will never watch AEW again, Purdy. Anyway, so like you got Colt Cabana, Kip Sabian.
Colt Cabana is facing Lance Archer next week.
I know. I'm saying like these are the names. Like Dustin Rhodes, Kip Sabian, Colt Cabana, Sammy Guevara,
yes,
Darby Allin, Sean Spears, and Cody.
Okay,
so name any of those people other than Cody and Lance.
Sammy Guevara
matter.
Sammy Guevara.
Well, that's what
I
I'm saying.
agree. Believe me, he's like one of my favorite wrestlers. But I don't. Even
that's
him
what I'm
winning,
saying,
it's not going to matter.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you can tell by the bodies in this tournament, it's designed for them, and that's not okay.
I
like MJF. Like we might agree that MJF is the best on the mic, but not a great in-ring performer.
Correct.
But he still could have been in this bracket. Like
no,
he hasn't done shit.
He has the ring.
Big fucking deal. What's the ring going to do for you?
The ring it's a thing in the wrestling business. I don't know. Don't ask me.
MJF
it made him win the match against Cody. God damn it!
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. MJF beat Cody, but somehow Cody's the one in the tournament.
They could make a star with Sammy Guevara by having him win, having Jericho kind of play like the Sasha Banks role almost, and then challenging Sammy, and then Sammy going over. They could really make a star. I mean,
that's why KO was Universal Champion.
Yeah.
My thing is Sammy and Chris will have a feud that will make Sammy the star.
That's what I'm saying. So Sammy can win this belt. Chris could play congrats, but I really want it. And then Sammy can go over. I mean, I don't know that they're ready to turn Jericho face again yet. Because I think you have to do that. I think you have to keep Sammy heel in that scenario. But I would like to see that down the road. I mean, I think Sammy is a star in that company, no question.
Oh, 100%. You got AEW does, I feel, in my opinion, a lot better long-term storytelling. So, like, all this what we're talking about is great, but like, there's so much. It's weekly television. Like, we just got to breathe a little bit.
I just think that they could have done a better job at selling this tournament as an actual tournament.
If live TV was happening, I mean, I think a lot of stuff changed. Same thing with Raw and SmackDown. Like the two worst Raw and SmackDowns after Mania, we can all agree, terrible.
Yes, no question.
There's AEW is no different. It's not that great. It's just I think a lot of things would have been better. Blood and Guts would have happened. Who knows what came out of Blood and Guts?
I mean, it's still gonna happen eventually.
Yeah. We didn't talk about the Matt Hardy
Yeah, because we're still talking about this. All I'm saying is they had this bracket planned for at least a month before this whole thing went down. That's what I'm getting at, is they could have planned better to make it look not like a complete fucking beeline to this championship. That's all I'm saying. Like, I love AEW, and you know that. Like, just looking at like Colt Cabana, big fucking deal.
I'm just saying, you put it on anyone else, I don't think any of us give a shit about that belt.
You could have put Scorpio Sky in that match instead of Colt Cabana, and that's a way better sell of a match.
Than Colt Cabana versus Lance Archer?
Yes.
Do you want him to take a loss? We were just talking.
He's a tag team. He could take a loss. He's in a tag team.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. And Scorpio Sky is in way better shape than Colt Cabana.
And we know that Scorpio Sky will eventually get a singles push. So then you have in the back of your mind, like, could this be that singles push? To where Colt Cabana, we're like, there ain't no way in hell he's winning.
I'm looking at it from a different angle, I guess, because I look at the bracket. You see Dustin's obviously going to beat Kip, right? And then you're going to have...
I think Kip Sabian might. I think
Penelope Ford has a big role in Kip Sabian.
Yeah, because you guys are crazy if you don't think that Dustin Rhodes is going to fight Lance Archer before that match.
How many Kip Sabian matches have you watched?
The only ones on AEW. And they're
not
bad.
That dude is a phenomenal performer.
And he also has more behind him than Dustin going forward. Dustin's there to put a little over people. And I said, Penelope Ford is a big deal in that company, and she's another one that needs to be in the title picture for the championship. I think Penelope Ford is the reason why you push Kip Sabian forward in that division.
And when I look at Kip Sabian versus Lance Archer, I think of RVD versus Brock Lesnar in King of the Ring in 2002. Like, RVD was a really tiny dude fighting for his life against Brock Lesnar, and he almost does it. And then Brock Lesnar was like, "Hey, guess what? I'm fucking roided out of my mind."
I want to hear it. You guys think that Kip Sabian is going to beat Dustin Rhodes?
Yes.
I would rather see Kip Sabian beat Dustin Rhodes.
I'm not saying rather.
I'm saying he will.
I would rather, because we're talking about the storyline of Cody versus Lance in this tournament.
Kip
was
Sabian
built for them.
Wins.
But Cody can't continually feud with people and then it get increasingly worse because his brother gets beat up.
No, I agree.
But that's every feud that Cody's been in so far.
It's gonna happen. I know you guys don't want to hear it, but it's gonna be
and he even beat his brother up, and he's like, "Oh, you can't beat up my brother."
Kip Sabian wins that match.
There's no fucking reason Dustin Rhodes in this tournament.
Yeah, to put over Kip Sabian.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. When's this match? When the fuck is this match?
Hopefully
Dustin Rhodes is a tag team performer anyway now.
True.
With QT Marshall or Brandon QT Marshall. That's his name, right? Not Brandon Marshall.
QT Marshall, yeah.
I'm just gonna call him QT.
Can we talk about Matt Hardy yet?
Yeah, let's do it.
You're out your goddamn
Can I make a prediction? If we're gonna go off Meltzer ratings, the Jericho Hardy match will be less than a 3.
I honestly don't think it'll be that great.
I can't stand Meltzer, so I don't want to go off his metrics. But
I mean, he's like it or not, he's a very objective. He's an objective man.
Well, he's an AEW fanboy.
Yeah, I was gonna say he works for AEW now, but and this is coming from an AEW fanboy. The match isn't gonna be nothing special. But it depends on it's gonna be a video cinematic, so I don't think it will.
Matt Hardy struck gold in TNA with the Broken Hardy gimmick. I don't think it has sustained to keep working now.
It's been 5 years.
I don't think WWE ruined it, and I just don't think it still works. I think,
because it was 5 years ago.
Yeah, I don't like it, and it's the best thing about the Matt Hardy thing has been Vanguard 1, and it's a fucking drone. So I'm not sold on it. I don't like it. Matt Hardy cannot win this feud. Absolutely cannot.
He's definitely winning.
The problem with signing Matt Hardy and Colt Cabana, honestly,
Colt Cabana is there for more like for a producer. Like, I don't think he's gonna ever have a big push.
But hear me out. The problem with signing these people and putting them on TV, and even DDP, like DDP on TV was cool, and Billy Gunn in that Battle Royal, it was cool. But you have no place for these people to go, so their victories, if they win, mean absolute jack and shit. And I love Matt Hardy. I love the Hardys. I love Chris Jericho. But neither of them have anything to win from this feud. And that's why it bothered me. Like, you could have had Matt Hardy come and feud with Lance goddamn Archer.
Or put the Dark Order over.
or with Brody Lee and say
Right.
the only Dark Master here is me, motherfucker. But instead,
we might get there. But
why? But why does that have to go through Jericho?
Yeah.
Because Jericho is going to go on tour after all this shit's done anyway, so he's going to lose no matter what.
Jericho already said his tour will not interrupt AEW TV.
No, I know, I get that, but I mean, the main reason he lost the belt, right, is because he was.
But like originally, Matt Hardy was supposed to feud with them to do Blood and Guts because Nick Jackson's injured. But now all of a sudden, it's Matt Hardy versus Chris Jericho because, like, obviously this has changed everything. But this match doesn't need to happen. I would rather see Chris Jericho put somebody else over, even Sean fucking Spears,
or keep winning. Let Jericho keep winning. I don't have a problem with that until he does.
You guys are some fantasy book in here,
but the Matt Hardy Jericho thing is not going to do it.
Sean Spears going over Chris Jericho.
It's better than fucking Matt Hardy going over Chris Jericho.
Yeah, exactly. As an AEW fan, like I'd rather see Sean Spears grow in the mid card by beating a beaten down Chris Jericho.
Circle back to Darby Allin. If you want Jericho to put someone over, circle back to Darby Allin and let Darby Allin go over Jericho.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like Chris Jericho, he got beat. He's missing a step. He's showing his age a little bit, just like the Undertaker just did.
Yeah,
like he's showing his age a little bit.
This is going to be a match, though. Right? This isn't going to be a match. This is going to be an Undertaker type production, I guess. So now we're going to call it the Undertaker type production.
Well, no,
it's going to be a Matt Hardy production.
Yeah, I was going to say because the Ultimate Deletion was the final deletion was first.
Absolutely. But I just it doesn't have the luster. It doesn't have the God, like when it first happened, you salivated. You're like, wow, this is unique. This
different.
Is awesome. It's different. You know, and WWE unfortunately just did it better, and it's going to be very hard.
The budget and the production,
absolutely, and obviously, and the stars that were involved. It's going to be very hard for us to watch this and go, okay, like it's just not going to happen. It's going to be bad. Matt Hardy can't wrestle anymore. He hasn't been able to wrestle in 10 years. He walks like he's 68 years old. Like I'm not, and he should not go over Jericho. He should not go over the first champion. Jericho needs to put someone over that matters. That's not Moxley.
I'm not sold he's going to go over Jericho, though.
There's no way in hell he's going over Jericho.
But the point is what if he's not going to go over Jericho? There's no what's the point of having him come here at this time and then just lose?
To push the Matt Hardy character forward to something else. I think you're wrong if you think Matt Hardy's just going to do this broken character for the next 3 years. I think
that's exactly what he's going to do. That's why he left WWE.
He left WWE because he had all these ideas he wanted to do that he couldn't
involve
do.
That character.
That involved the character and involving the character, not just being the same character though. Right.
So what? He's gonna get pinned 1 week and then come back as a different iteration of Matt Hardy. He did that already in WWE for a year.
Or they're just
he came back as
broken.
He came back as V1 1 week, and then he came back as Broken the next, and then he came back as Team Extreme Matt Hardy with his.
Well, he's in like his third vessel now, so
with his his velvet fucking shirt from the 90s.
Look, I'll agree with Ferdy. You can kind of disregard the WWE history of the character. I don't have a problem with that. The problem I have,
Jeff Hardy to come back too.
So like in a fantasy world, you have the Dark Order interfere in the match and cost Matt Hardy the match, and that's how they go forward. But then you still make Jericho doesn't need the Dark Order to interfere to beat a crippled man. Like they put themselves between a rock and a hard place. Like
crippled, I see, but you guys keep calling this a match. It's gonna be a fucking movie that is gonna have some weird shit.
But there has
to
be a winner, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Yes, there has to be a winner. I'm not arguing there has to be a winner, but if Matt Hardy beats Chris Jericho because he, I don't know, magically disappears and appears and pins him, who really cares? I don't think it hurts Chris Jericho's character at all. I think it's just gonna be one of those things where okay, that's cool.
Listen,
and then we're gonna move on.
That's no different than Brock taking the streak from the Undertaker.
And we moved on from that.
Barely.
Unhappily.
I mean, Jericho needs to put over Moxley doesn't count. And let's see here. Is there anyone else in the company? I would say Cody wouldn't have counted. Count. Those are the only two.
Take away the matches. The promos of this feud so far have been great in my opinion. Like the fucking Chris Jericho promos and the Matt Hardy ones.
The Vanguard 1 stuff has been great. The Matt Hardy stuff's been hokey and there.
The one tonight was fantastic. It was stupid, but maybe that's just me. That's just the type of shit I like. I liked it in TNA. I hated WWE. They didn't really do anything in it. And it works. But we've never had a Matt Hardy Chris Jericho feud either. So that's something that I'm intriguing. Like we never had it in WWE. I know they're both old and huh?
They feuded in 2002 for the Intercontinental.
Yeah, I mean, a feud. Like as
I just want to make that abundantly clear because it was 18 years ago.
Yeah,
18 years ago, exactly.
I was 9 years old.
I don't think it's always about putting younger talent over though. That's what I guess that's what I'm getting at. It's a fine.
And it's not. And it's not. But they didn't have to do this right now. They could have waited.
I just don't know if this was the original plan. That's all I'm getting at too.
I mean, all I'm saying, like, I love AEW, but like we're all sitting here talking about how they have so many ducks in a row, and the row isn't going anywhere. But let's stick Matt Hardy and Chris Jericho at the top of the row, and then.
Well, I disagree that the ducks aren't going anywhere. You have Darby Allin that's been elevated. Sammy Guevara has been elevated tremendously. We have a lot of these people in the mid card that have been elevated.
So the people who have competed against Cody and Chris Jericho.
Right. Well, Chris Jericho's made Sammy a star by himself.
Right. So
Darby's made a star by himself.
So now Cody's going to be against Lance Archer to make him a star. And now Chris Jericho is going to go against Matt Hardy, who's been wrestling for 25 goddamn years.
But that's fine. We're talking look at the left side of all these other people that are getting put over and getting elevated. This other thing on the far right doesn't. I mean, you can't have everyone getting elevated all the time, nonstop.
What position on the card does the Jericho Hardy match go on? Let's say Double or Nothing happens.
Second to last.
I agree, and it doesn't belong there.
Second to last. Are they saying it's going to be? Is that, or is it not going to be just a TV match?
No, I imagine they would save it for Double or Nothing. I don't think they're going to give away that for free.
Did they? I thought they said it.
If they have a match on TV, they can't do a clean finish. I mean, okay, let me take back. Here's the thing: they do it next week on Dynamite, and Jericho goes over. I'll take back everything I just said. But I'm assuming that we're
Jericho
building.
Does go over.
I'm assuming we're building to Double or Nothing. And if that's the assumption, and they're going on second to last on that card to the Moxley X match, which I assume is going to be Hager, then I have a problem with the whole thing.
It's not going to go over a second to last. Is the TNT belt will, and I think AEW already said that they want that on their pay-per-views. They want to build up to the title matches in a line.
Yeah, they crescendo.
It'll go third.
I get that.
It'll go third or fourth.
I mean, if they want every title match on there, it'll go first. Because you have the women's, you have the tag team, you have the TNT, and then you have the men's.
Right.
And then you have you have any contender matches that you have. So those are in correlation with the championships.
Right. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's at least entertaining. I would be highly upset if Matt Hardy goes over though.
And I will agree with you. I'm excited that Matt Hardy is in AEW. He does not need to feud with somebody his own age.
I agree.
I don't really care who goes over, I guess. It doesn't matter to me.
And if we're talking about Jericho now, I don't think Moxley should have been the one to take the belt from Jericho either. You have your two biggest WWE stars feuding in your new federation for
there's a reason for that, right? I mean, they're trying to draw in fans from a different promotion. I mean, it is what it is.
They should have immediately went back to Jericho and Omega. They have a history pass. They have a video library they could have got access to. And you have 3 pay-per-views in a row of Kenny chasing and finally overcoming Jericho, and then you go to Moxley and Kenny. I don't know why you had to take
your boy Kenny, bro.
Well, it is. And again, he's his own worst enemy when it comes to this. I don't know why.
Because for a long time, Moxley and Jericho were the only draws.
Oh, you mean to AEW?
Right.
Yeah.
But I think you can take your 2 draws. Like Cody and you have Cody and Jericho, and you make the other superstars with them, and you don't pair them against each other yet, because right now all you're saying is we're a WWE misfit team. I mean, that's really what they put together to start this promotion. You know, they didn't put the belts on the Young Bucks. They didn't put a belt on Omega. They didn't put a belt on even Cody, who you could argue was the best thing to come out of this. Instead, you put a belt on Jericho, who, again, did great things with it, but then you had him feud with the other big name that came from WWE and Moxley, and then you had Moxley beat him for the belt. I guess I'm sour
after flicking his cut.
You just don't want WWE people on
top. I just don't. Right. I don't want them on top. I don't mind them being there. Right. And I don't mind them putting people over. And I don't even mind Jericho being the first champion. But the fact that that was your first big championship feud.
La Champion.
It's not even a year though yet, man. It's not. Here's the thing. I think we talked about this. Is that I would prefer way more if Kenny and Adam Page at this point went for the belt.
Sure.
Eventually.
Adam Page had the chance to take the belt.
Well, I know, but Adam Page, they pushed him too far too quickly, and obviously he lost against Chris Jericho, and now it turned out to be fantastic.
I honestly think, though, that the Adam Page experiment is why Moxley and Jericho was the next feud. I think they went, Correct. Shit, Jericho versus big star, not WWE related, is not going to sell tickets. And so they went to Moxley. And
there's still a business aspect to it. Sure. I'm sure they both sell amazing merch. I'm sure Moxley's merch sells. I mean, look at the TV. It's Chris Jericho and Moxley shirts, and Young Buck shirts. Obviously.
The number one selling product on Wrestling Tees this week was Jericho's scarf or handkerchief.
Bandana.
Right. So I mean, I'm sure there's still a business aspect of it, but I don't know. I do agree that I would like to see someone from outside WWE win it, but I just don't think it's that time is right now. It's not even a year in.
Right, and eventually Jericho is going to go on tour, and he's going to stop wrestling so much, and that's why
he's at the end of his career, 100%.
Right, and I think that's why it's so frustrating to see him going against Matt Hardy.
You're adding bumps to his bump card for no reason?
Yeah, and
is he going to take a bump in that match? It's a movie.
It's not
a wrestling match. It's not a wrestling.
It doesn't matter.
He's still going to take a bump.
Even if he's not taking bumps, he's taking time off his career. You're taking an X period of time where he could be with someone else,
and it's fine if it turns out to be like Dark Order interferes. And
I'm curious.
Takes fucking. What are you curious about?
I don't know. I guess I'm different from you guys. That I think that's probably the best thing besides Adam Page, Kenny Omega stuff on AEW is the Matt Hardy.
Right, the promos are great, but I'm saying they're not like it's not going to do anything.
The match doesn't have to be great. Right, I mean, we just talked about Triple H and Randy Orton having the most boring fucking matches, but the build-up.
And I don't care about the match at all. I'm saying that the feud I don't care about. It shouldn't happen.
Oh, I see. That's where we're different. I care about the feud. I'm invested in it. I'm excited to see what's going to happen next week. What Chris Jericho is going to release fucking bats instead of dogs next week. I don't know. I guess it keeps drawing me back to
right. I'm saying I like the promos and the build, but the match is going to whatever it turns out.
No, I get you. The match.
You could say. Yeah, you could say it's not going to be a match or it's not going to be whatever. Like, it's not going to go anywhere.
It's the fact that we're not using the opportunity to use the Jericho and use Matt Hardy
and Hardy's careers to push
further AEW is my argument. That's all.
Like Matt Hardy could feud with Kip Sabian and say, "You remind me of my brother, and I will purify you of your intolerances." Like Shit. I couldn't pure.
He can go my brother and Lita. I mean, he could literally go all in on that. Like, there's so many things
because Kip Sabian is a high flying, dangerous person, and you
just going on. I know this. I mean, something that WWE goes off of AEW's YouTube channel, and the Matt Hardy, Chris Jericho stuff is by far the biggest stuff because
WWE stars.
Exactly. And maybe that's why I invested in it. But if you're telling me you want to put Kip Sabian, I'm just hypothetically, Kip Sabian versus fucking Matt Hardy or Chris Jericho, don't care. As of right now, I don't care.
That's like
Kip Sabian's girlfriend is more over than he is.
That's like you saying at the beginning of AEW saying putting Chris Jericho against Adam Hangman Page. I just don't care.
No, I cared. I think it was the right result.
Why did you care there and not about Kip Sabian? You don't know anything about Kip Sabian. You didn't know anything about Adam Page.
Because they built up Kip Sabian. What have they done with Kip Sabian? Hold up. I would agree with you if you said, "Hey, put Darby Allin versus Chris Jericho," which they kind of have an intertwining feud.
Sure,
that's cool, and that I think that is coming. I think that is a step in the future.
But what we're getting at, Ferdy, is it's older talent's job to build new talent. And those two aren't doing it. That is what we are getting at. Matt Hardy is 45.
Yes.
And I'm not even getting to that. My biggest argument with this is you're having the older talent that you want to put over the younger talent, but now one of them have to take a loss to each other. and it makes putting over the next talent lesser.
Exactly.
That's my issue with the match. Not necessarily that they're both older talent, not necessarily they're both WWE, but now you're taking Jericho specifically. You have a hot Hardy coming in. If Jericho takes this loss, his next loss isn't as significant. Just like Undertaker taking a loss to Brock and then taking the loss to Roman, the loss to Roman wasn't as significant as the loss to Brock. And it shouldn't have been Brock. It should have been Roman then. So, it just lessens what they're doing. And in AEW specifically, where they're saying that records matter and wins and losses matter.
Mm-hmm. Why
are you giving one of your 2 stars that can put someone over a loss? That's
okay. So when Chris Jericho loses against Matt Hardy, how many losses is he going to have?
1 more than
2.
he should.
He's going to have like 2.
1 more than he
I
should.
think you're correct.
Maybe
2.
3.
I think he has a tag team loss.
Yeah, 3.
Well, we're talking single. We'll talk our single. The single is he's only going to have 2.
Still, 1 more than he should have lost, right? Like that's the argument.
Oh,
how many losses did Undertaker have? When Undertaker lost to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, how many losses did he have?
That's a different thing, though. That's a different streak. That's the different.
No, it's not. And was it lesser or was it more?
Well, we could argue that Brock Lesnar beating Undertaker was the right call in a sense because Brock Lesnar's still wrestling. He carried that mystique with him. It's still to this day.
But Brock Lesnar and Matt Hardy are completely.
And every time
different.
someone beats Brock Lesnar, it does matter, right?
Because everything else doesn't.
But when someone beats Brock Lesnar, it matters because they beat the.
But Brock Lesnar and Matt Hardy Matt Hardy couldn't carry a major championship for a year and a half and actually draw people to want him to lose.
All right, let's end this conversation on this. Do you want and do you think Matt Hardy or Jericho? Who do you want to win? Who do you think is going to win?
I'll go last because
I want Jericho both answers. I want Jericho to win, and Jericho should win. Like there's no questions about it.
What do you think, AJ?
Obviously, I want Jericho to win. He's done more for that company than anybody will do in the next year and a half. It's just the way it is.
Forever. He started it, essentially.
Right. But I think Matt Hardy is going to go over because they aren't going to have him come in to have a loss right off the bat. I do think it'll be a detriment because it's 2 pay-per-views in a row for Jericho that he's lost a match. I don't think Matt Hardy wins without some kind of gimmick or some shit. But I just don't think they could have had proxies for this. Like Jericho could have had Sammy Guevara and Matt Hardy could have picked somebody and they could have been like my disciple or some shit. The Spanish sex god versus the broken disciple. Like it could have been that way and it would have been even better because then you get like even if it was pre-filmed anyway, like a Matt Hardy versus Jericho match, you have like Jericho in one corner yelling like Mickey yells in Rocky. You know what I'm saying? And then Matt Hardy yelling fucking inspirational speeches like from Braveheart and stuff. Like he can take your legs, but he can't take your freedom and shit like that. And like that would be cool. I just don't care. Like I love both wrestlers. I just don't care about this match. I care about the match. I don't care about the outcome because it's not going to
care about the match.
It's not going to matter for anybody.
I want Matt Hardy to win, but I do think Chris Jericho goes over, and I don't know if it's a clean over. I don't know how exactly to get to that point. But just to combat what you just said, I don't think people like Sammy Guevara are ready to be put in that position to go over someone like a Chris or a Matt yet. So.
Do you want a list of people Matt Hardy's jobbed out to over the past year and a half?
But you know what? But he's still a draw, and people still like him and love him, and no one talks about his losses. That's all I'm going to say.
I'll take everything back I said if the Dark Order causes interference and causes Matt Hardy to lose, or the Dark Order causes interference and causes them to win, and Matt Hardy is actually the exalted one, and Brody Lee was kind of acting on his behalf. If either of those 2 things happen, I'll take back everything I just said.
But I think the Dark Order is going in a different direction. I don't think they're this paranormal like weird thing. I don't know. I'm wrong on that, but
if there's a payoff to this that nobody's seeing, because like usually we see the payoffs,
right?
Like one of us does, but none of us are seeing a payoff. Like you're seeing a Matt Hardy victory, which is cool. But if there's a bigger payoff, then I won't be as upset, or I won't be as.
That's true.
I'll eat my words if there's a payoff that makes sense that doesn't have one of these two veterans going over.
And then getting it started into a title picture for no reason.
And I'm going to give AEW the benefit of the doubt on that because I think they have a better track record of doing that than, not.
Right. So and you even said they have long time storytelling. So if there's a payoff to this match, we have to.
But I'm not seeing. But then again, I'm the opposite. I don't really care who wins necessarily because I think it's just an entertaining match. But if it's even deeper than I fucking my ignorant brain thinks of, then cool, I'm with that too. So I hope it's not the Dark Order though. I will say that I hope they let Brody Lee do his own thing over here, and if it's something else I don't see coming, I'm okay with that too. So
or maybe the Revival do something and fuck everything up.
True. Yeah, but they're a tag team.
Okay. So real quick, before we end the podcast, the Revival have new shirts out, and so
let me see.
So their shirt, it's pictures of them with the WWE tag team titles, and they have like the dust, like Thanos dust, like coming off the sides where like you can't see the titles.
Evaporating.
Yeah.
Did they? Excuse me. Announce like their new name or anything? Or
so Dash Wilder.
Obviously, they don't own their names.
Dash Wilder is going off Cash Wheeler because that's his real name. And Scott Dawson's going to go against Dax Harwood.
Wait, his real name's actually Cash?
I think it is. Cash Wheeler.
It's pretty impressive. Top selling item is the La Champion bandana and glasses.
La Champion! Yeah, so the shirt is the Thanos dust.
It's hilarious that like Chris Jericho is in like the top like fucking like 6 out of like 14 shirts.
That dude makes so much money off just.
Oh, here it is. Farewell Tour.
That's what they're calling themselves?
Farewell. Well, the shirt's called Farewell. It's called Farewell TR, and then but it has Arwell in the parentheses.
Can we talk about how bad most of the shirts are for AEW?
Yeah, absolutely. They're trash.
I can't speak on it too much. The ones I do like or the Orange Cassidy ones I think are awesome.
I like both Orange Cassidy shirts. The new Britt Baker shirt does her no favors.
The Sammy Guevara one I really like. Other than that, I can't speak too much because I haven't really looked at them. The Britt Baker one that's up here, Possessed.
Yeah, it's terrible.
They just made that like fucking in one day.
The Jurassic Express shirt is a knockoff of the New Day shirt by a lot.
I think the problem is like obviously the company designs a lot of these shirts, but so do the people. Like the wrestlers design these shirts for themselves, and it's an issue because like obviously the Inner Circle Guns N' Roses knockoff is fucking sweet because Chris Jericho's a rock star.
That's cool.
And then Chris Jericho's got a Bon Jovi knockoff shirt. The Kenny Omega Omegatron one.
Yeah.
It's kind of gimmicky in a way.
Like the delete the whole of the ass, like that. Come on.
The urge to.
I'll say the paradigm. Okay, let me rephrase this. The shirts that I'm looking at now are way better than the shirts I looked at 2 months ago. So they're getting better. The Paradigm Shift Moxley shirt's actually pretty damn cool.
I'm trying to. I've never been to this fucking website that much. I'm trying to figure
search
out.
by top monthly sellers, not weekly, and you'll.
I'm trying to go to All Elite. I was looking at all New Japan shit. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I'm looking at all the Impact Wrestling ones right now. Oh, by the way, Impact Wrestling results real quick. Tessa Blanchard was in a tag team match for the tag team titles with Eddie Edwards. And
did she fucking win?
No, she refused to tag him in, and then she got double teamed and pinned.
I bet she got double teamed. So, in something that I care less about than the Jericho Matt Hardy feud, TNA.
I really by real quick, I'm looking at them. I really like the Matt Hardy ones too.
The delete the whole of the ass, that one is terrible.
Delete the urge.
No, not that one. Okay. I didn't see that one until now. That one is I like the character, but the whole fucking
the broken my delete is all elite. That one kind of looks like a Shining ripoff of like him looking through the door. Like,
wait,
here's Johnny.
My delete is all elite.
Yeah,
I like the best friend shirt. I know you hate best friends, but I like their shirt. I think it's kind of cool. Look, I think the Adam Page shirts are trash.
Yeah, for sure.
I like the Sammy Guevara Hit Me Up shirt. I want to buy that one actually.
The Kenny Omega Capcom Cup shirt is pretty fucking awesome.
See, I personally think Kenny Omega shirts are pretty hideous for the most part.
NXT has shirts.
NXT has phenomenal. Oh, they shouldn't.
They have Tommaso Ciampa shirts. It was probably before he was in NXT.
Yeah, they have rights to old stuff. All right, let's wrap this thing up. We went almost 2 hours arguing about Matt Hardy and Jericho.
Yeah, we need to have a whole fucking podcast on that.
If you want my size 12 foot up your ass, we will.
I honestly thought I was gonna get two on one here I planned this going in. I thought for sure AJ was gonna be against me on this. So
I don't know if you realize this. I'm a very objective thinker.
I was pleasantly surprised to see the way that went tonight.
Politics, video games, movies, wrestling. I'm very objective. I am.
But let's all agree that AEW is still better than Raw and SmackDown every week. I don't care what's on that television.
Especially
I'm the only one. Okay.
I mean, this week was historically bad with Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah.
I can't compare 2 hours of content to 5 hours of content. It's just like if AEW had 5 hours worth of content every week,
it wouldn't be as good as Raw and SmackDown.
It wouldn't be.
It would not.
I think it would be.
No, I think that. I think
you know what? I will agree with you on that.
I think
let's wrap this up tonight. We'll talk about it.
I will say I think Raw and SmackDown are WWE's at a disadvantage with the amount of TV they have to produce,
yes,
especially in this time.
Right. I was gonna say Raw doesn't need to be 3 hours.
Yeah, right now. But WWE's problem isn't the amount of time they have. I think they have too much talent for the amount of time they have, and NXT has the perfect amount of talent for 4 to 5 hours of TV.
WWE's one major issue, and if they get rid of it, it'll fix everything. Is 50-50 booking. They get rid of 50-50 booking, I think WWE becomes a whole different product. So that'll be my final words. Any final words on you guys?
Go ahead.
My final word is AEW is better than NXT.
Oh, I just threw up. Sorry.
This is the first week I will agree that NXT was better since it started. But go ahead.
Oh, me. I'm gonna start. I love AEW. I'm gonna start looking at things a little more objectively because we're doing this podcast. I'll fanboy when we watch them, but
if you could be a mediator between me and Ferdy between NXT and AEW, that'd be great.
I don't actually watch NXT that much.
That's because AEW is such a better product.
Well, it's not just that. It's they give you I
really like NXT.
It's not predictable. I do like NXT in the fact that I've watched most of the wrestlers somewhere else before,
right?
And it wasn't in WWE.
It's like watching AEW.
Like Adam Cole's only famous because of Matt Hardy, and it's true. Adam Cole feuded with Matt Hardy at Ring of Honor for 9 months, and it was the best 9 months of his Ring of Honor career. So if Matt Hardy could do that with somebody else instead of Chris Jericho, it would be great.
Actually, one thing I will say is that if NXT and AEW were on Monday and Friday, I honestly wouldn't watch Raw and SmackDown.
Agreed, both. I agree, 100%.
They're both fantastic shows. I'm just talking shit.
Raw and SmackDown are like the Goldberg and Brock matches of the week.
100%.
This is the first week I've watched both in months because we started doing this podcast. Usually I'll read the highlights and send you guys the highlights. And you'll be like, I watched it. And I'm like, well, I'm a shitbag, so I didn't. But I watched it this week and I was like, God damn, I spent 5 hours watching TV this week. I don't watch any TV.
That's the only thing I really do watch on TV is wrestling. So.
Right, and I'm saying I don't watch any TV. I'll watch anime or something, but I just spent 5 hours watching wrestling, and I've never been more disappointed with 5 hours of content in my life. All right, guys, I'm gonna call it. So,
episode 4 will be on YouTube tonight. It'll be on. We're still waiting on approval for iTunes. It'll be on Spotify.
No, I got the email.
Oh, did it come in?
Yeah, we got approved. Yeah.
Yay! So check us out. Please leave us a 5-star rating. That is the most important thing for us on iTunes to just even get seen. So episode 4 going up. I'll get it all encoded tonight, and we will see you guys. What are we doing next? Are we doing Monday night again?
Yeah, I guess.
No reason to do Sunday. There's nothing going on this weekend.
Yeah, Monday's fine.
All right, we'll see you guys Monday night after Raw, where we can discuss everything.
That doesn't happen.
Later, guys.